Shanti Om. Good morning, everyone. Isn't it a beautiful day out there? And I want to welcome you. I'm Susan Harper, music director, if you don't know me. And I want to invite you all to sing along as we sing, well, with yourselves muted, of course, with our Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, one of our favorite hymns.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Thompson, and I have the pleasure once again this morning of serving as your worship associate. I'm particularly excited and pleased today to have the privilege of welcoming our guest minister, the Reverend Dr. Barbara Wells Hove. But for right now, let's take a few minutes, about 5, and break into small rooms where we can chat with each other for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to resume our worship service.
We're just in the middle of breakout rooms, folks, so feel free to join if you like. We have about a minute left in the breakout rooms, folks, and then folks will be returning.
Welcome back. I think almost everyone is back now from our breakout rooms.
Almost. Looks like we've still got a few more joining us.
I'll give them a few more minutes.
Yeah, just a few moments is probably fine. Looks like everybody's back, Barb.
Okay. Well, welcome back to all. At the end of the service, we will have another chance to spend some time together. But right now, I feel very honored to have the opportunity to introduce you to our guest minister, the Reverend Barbara Wells Ten Hove. Reverend Barbara was ordained in 1985 and started her ministry at East Shore Unitarian Church in Bellevue, Washington. She married the Reverend Jocko Ten Hove in 1990 and took Ten Hove as her last name in 2004. Barbara and Jocko have served congregations in Colorado, Maryland, and Washington. They retired from their positions as co-ministers of Cedar UU Church of Bainbridge Island, Washington in 2017, and were honored to be named emeritus ministers. Following her retirement, Reverend Barbara was called into service as a one-year consulting minister at the North Shore Unitarian in West Vancouver, British Columbia, and she was there from 2018 to 19. Interestingly, Reverend Barbara's father was also a UU minister, and both she and Jocko grew up as homebred UUs. As a gifted writer and speaker, Reverend Barbara's articles, sermons, and meditations have been published in UU World, Worship Web, and Quest, the monthly publication of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. She and Jocko currently live in Bellingham, Washington, in Bellingham Co-housing, which is an intergenerational and intentional community, and they live there with their cat, Sophie Lionpaws. In retirement, Reverend Barbara preaches, writes, sings, volunteers at hospice, and does noble chores at her co-housing community. Both musicians, Jocko will be joining Reverend Barbara for several hymns during today's worship service.
Well, thank you, Barb, and good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be with you from my home in Bellingham, Washington, which is just 30 miles south of the border with British Columbia, sadly a border we can't cross right now. I'm a long way from Kansas, but so glad these strange times allow me to be with you through the magic of Zoom. I am indeed a retired Unitarian Universalist minister, and I was delighted when your minister, Reverend Shelley Page, asked me to preach this morning. I've known Shelley for a long time in a variety of different places, and you are a lucky congregation to have her as your minister. This month, the Soul Matters theme, which your church is following, is healing. And how appropriate is that, given the tumultuous times we live in? These past couple of weeks have felt alternately like a fast-paced whirlwind and slower than molasses. And while many of us feel extraordinary relief, there is still a long road ahead of us. Healing is not a fast-paced process. I hope this morning to give you a little perspective on how we might navigate these challenging times. For now, though, I invite you to sing along to a video that my husband Jocko and I recorded a while ago, note the summary close, of one of my favorite hymns, hymn number 298, Wake Now My Senses. The words will be in the chat.
This is hymn number 298, Wake Now My Senses. It was written by the late Unitarian Universalist minister, Tom Mickelson. He just died recently, and it's set to an old Irish melody. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with all web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care. This is
As seekers of meaning and truth during this uncertain time of intense partisan conflict and the unprecedented crisis of a pandemic, we light this chalice in gratitude for the extraordinary adventure of faith we find in Unitarian Universalism. A faith in which we can bring our whole selves, our full identity, our questioning minds, and our expansive hearts. A faith in which we can seek guidance through the strong values and morality of our 7 principles, and that we can strive to live out within a living tradition of wisdom and spirituality that is drawn from our 6 sources. Now, if you would each of you want to light your chalices, and you can hold them up. And Zella will lead us in our chalice lighting words.
We light this chalice for love, hope, and peace.
Thank you, Zella. Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. We take this moment to reflect on our joys and our sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. And we also invite you to share your joys and sorrows in the chat, keeping in mind that we cannot guarantee confidentiality in the public space. Our monthly agency for which we are dedicating our donations is the Campus Advocates for Better Care, or KABC. KABC is a consumer advocacy nonprofit organization, and it was launched in 1975 by Lawrence citizen Petey Cerf, along with others who were concerned about the poor state of care in nursing homes. And they were launched under the original name of Kansas for Improvement of Nursing Homes, and then was incorporated into a 501c3 organization on November 4th, 1976. In the mid-90s, the name was changed to the Campus Advocates for Better Care, KABC, to reflect their commitment to quality in all long-term care settings and expansion beyond nursing home care to include in-home care, assisted living, adult daycare, and respite care. A number of our members have been active in both the founding and the ongoing development of KABC, and Graham Kriker is currently on the KABC board. KABC has had a profound impact on the quality of care through careful investigation and study and the effective presentation of their findings to Kansas legislators. KABC's strong advocacy for effective practice has truly resulted in significant new public policies. However, the critical mission of KABC must be continued and supported to address ongoing challenges of inadequate care for older Kansans. If you wish to make a donation, as you can see from the screen, you can donate by text. Text the amount you wish to donate to 855-578-7346. If donating by check, mail the check to 1263 North 1100 Road, Lawrence, Kansas, 66047.
I want you all to sing along as we sing From You I Receive. From you I
receive.
You I give. Together we share. And from this we live.
Thank you. I'd now like to invite you to share by speaking our mission statement along with Henry Grant, who will lead us in our mission this morning.
Our mission is to love inclusively, nurture spiritual growth and connection, freely explore life's big question, and act for justice.
Thank you all for all your generosity and for the many ways that you live out your mission. Before I begin, let me note that after the prayer, my husband Jocko and I will lead you in a beautiful song. It's hymn 1031, May I Be Filled with Loving Kindness. While you can let the simple words wash over you, if you wish to see the lyrics, they will be in the chat box. But let's just begin by taking a deep breath. And now, if you wish, close your eyes and feel the air move around you. Listen to the sounds you hear and feel the energy of life in the room. And so we pray, gracious one whom we call by many names, our prayer begins as all prayers must, with thanks. We give thanks for the blessings of this world, for friends and family near and far, for homes to live in and the natural beauty of our green and blue planet. We even give thanks for the remarkable ways technology serves us, allowing us to be together in ways no one could imagine, even just a few short years ago. Allow a sense of thanksgiving to fill you and be grateful and breathe. But we must also acknowledge our losses. There is so much sadness and grief in the world today. People are dying from the pandemics of disease, hatred, racism, and fear. People are suffering and our hearts ache in response. Let us pray for healing, not only for those who are ill or grieving, but also for those who are wallowing in hatred, greed, and enmity. May all people everywhere be healed and turn in new ways toward a better future. And finally, let us pray for courage to face the many challenges ahead. There is so much we must do, so much we are called to create in these challenging times. May we find deep in our hearts the capacity to move forward, knowing that love and kindness will guide us. And so may we be filled with loving kindness and offer it not just to ourselves, but to all people. And so, after a moment of silence, we will sing. May I and you and we be filled with loving kindness, be well, and be whole. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. Well, that song is so powerful, isn't it? It just puts the energy of loving kindness right into your body and then offers it out into the world. I'm grateful to the Buddha for putting the concept of loving kindness out into the world, and to two of my colleagues, Mark Hayes and Ian Riddell, for putting it so beautifully to music. Let's just take another deep breath and soak it all in. Well, this has been one hell of a year, hasn't it? Like many of you, I'm pretty exhausted by the stress. It seems like every moment of every day requires that we do something, fix something, learn something, anything to make things better. Because so much is broken, it can be just overwhelming to try to see a path of healing and hope. Even today, when our national scene is starting to look a little more hopeful, we can get bogged down in the ever-present cycle of chaos and crisis. We can obsessively scroll through the news feed and forget to look up or look around and see what's beyond our screens. Well, this morning I want us to do both, look up and look around. to get some perspective on these crazy times we're living in, because perspective helps. For me, at least, it provides both hope and healing. When your minister, Reverend Shelley, first called me a month before the election to ask me to preach on this Sunday, we were both aware of the great uncertainty that was in the air. After she told me that the theme for November was healing, she asked me what I might want to talk about. Immediately, I thought of two ways that I have learned to put the world's problems into some kind of perspective. The first is powerfully personal. When the anger and unpleasantness of the times get to me, I look around for people who are acting kind. As Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. The second is powerfully universal. I look up at the stars and ask myself, will this even matter in a million years? These two very different ways of viewing the world help me. I hope they'll help you. Well, let's begin with the personal. When I took on this service and started reflecting on the theme, I discovered that this past Friday, November 13th, was World Kindness Day. Did you even know there was such a day? I certainly didn't. But going on their website was deeply inspiring. In fact, their tagline is Inspire Kindness. On a website full of wonderful quotes, this one stood out. The world is full of kind people. If you can't find one, be one. The organization is primarily designed to teach children to be kind, something we all know is essential if we're going to create a world full of kindly people. There was a sweet video that showed an ever-flowing group of middle school age kids practicing kindness. As one kid does a kind act, another one experiences it or witnesses it, and lo and behold, starts acting kind. A cascade of kindness flows, and it's truly inspiring to see. Now, I know that middle school aged kids can be mean. I know that bullying happens at that age a lot, and at every age too. But I also know that people can unlearn mean behavior if kind and loving ways of being are practiced and modeled. Throughout my long career as a Unitarian Universalist minister, I've worked with lots and lots of kids, and I've seen how loving kindness practiced in the church can make a huge difference in how these kids respond to bullies in other places in their lives. I've witnessed children's lives being transformed by the lived experience of our first principle. Even if they couldn't parrot the words, if young people see others being treated with worth and dignity, they recognize it as kindness, and it impacts them. It impacted me during my Unitarian Universalist childhood, and I will be forever grateful to the adults who taught me how to be kind. I thought about kindness a lot during these trying times. Kindness seems to flourish more easily when we're together in person. Kindness has suffered, I think, due to the distance we're required to keep from each other to stay safe during this pandemic. In the distant past of a year ago, a parent whose kid was bullied at school might be encouraged to invite the bully over for milk and cookies to aim to build a better relationship. Milk and cookies help a lot when we're trying to reach out to someone we're mad at. It's hard to stay mad with chocolate chip cookies in your mouth. So I wonder what might be the metaphorical milk and cookies we could be sharing now. When the world seems so crazy, what simple acts might we do to make things a little kinder? If we were in church together today, I'd ask you to raise your hands and tell me some of the things you're doing. But since I can't easily do that in this format, I'm going to make some assumptions based on the many people I know in our congregations. I think if you were to raise your hands and share, you might tell me that you express or experience kindness in these ways. You make and send cards to shut-ins, set up Zoom conversations with relatives you don't usually spend time with, take a neighbor's dog for a walk, shop for a friend who feels vulnerable going into stores, rake leaves at your church or a local nonprofit, make extra soup and put it on the porch for a friend, buy someone else's coffee who is in line behind you, Write a nice comment on someone's Facebook page. Share the new novel you just read with someone who hasn't. Do the dishes when you know it's your spouse's turn. Tell your kids, parents, friends, and neighbors how much you appreciate them. The list could go on and on. Will these acts bring about a new and more enlightened government or stop climate change? No, or at least it isn't likely. But sometimes we need to be reminded that a simple act of human kindness can heal a broken heart or mend a fractured friendship. These things matter. I find when the news feed goes nuts and I am inundated with bad news, it helps to remember that most people are kind and caring, and it's kindness and caring that will move this world along. Yes, I know we also have to do the hard work of justice making. I know we need to help build stronger institutions that will carry our values forward. I know we need to get out and protest. But when you've done as much of that as you can, and you need to heal your aching heart, just take a moment and remember all the ways you and others are being kind. Look for the helpers. Be a helper. And then look up at the sky. Before I share some thoughts about the sky, I'd like to invite you to listen to a gorgeous piece of music written by my friend and fellow Unitarian Universalist, Seth Moran. This piece is called Wind Hover and was named for a sailboat built by Seth's father. Andrea has put lovely photos of Ireland in a slideshow for you to enjoy. Take a moment to stretch and reflect on what you'll do today to spread and inspire kindness. Then please come back for a few more minutes with me. Isn't that just beautiful? Hearing music such as this and seeing those gorgeous photos gives my spirit a lift and offers me, and I hope you, a little glimmer of hope. Speaking of which, let me turn now to the second of the two ways I'm finding glimmers of hope and healing in these trying times. While the personal is hugely important, and celebrating kindness and caring when people are acting so ugly, as my mother used to say, matters. But moving really far away from the personal can help as well. And for that, I turn to the sky. I live in the cloudy Pacific Northwest where stargazing is challenging. But last month, I was privileged to go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina for a week with my husband for our 30th wedding anniversary. One night, we took a walk on the beach. Gazing up into the darkness, we saw the Milky Way in all its glory. Most of us live in places where light pollution has made seeing it very difficult. But down there, far away from city lights, it shone across the sky. Looking at the stars is a very humbling experience. Despite all we've learned over the past centuries about time and space, what's up there is still very mysterious. What look like tiny pinpricks of light, diamonds scattered on a black velvet cloth, are really giant suns pulsing with energy. Our human ancestors saw patterns up there. They saw stories and told stories about the ways the stars moved and the planets too. Now we know that most of those tiny lights are actually suns like our own, far, far away. Who knows what's happening in the deepest of space? Maybe there are creatures up there looking our way and wondering what's circling around our sun. I don't know. No one really does. And I love that. I love not knowing. Many years ago, a colleague told me that the best way to approach mystery is with open eyes and a gasp. I don't know. I don't know. It's such a powerful antidote to the mundane realities of our crazy world because we don't know what will happen. The story is unfolding. And looking at the stars can remind us to take a deep breath and have a little faith that not knowing the end of the story isn't always bad. Now, I know that looking into the Milky Way is really looking back in time. Depending on which star you're looking at, the light shining in the dark sky left its source around 500 years ago. Imagine that. 500 years ago, our world was a very different place. And right now, light and heat are being generated in those stars, but every human here on Earth will never live to see it. Our ancestors will, though, in hundreds of years. But who knows what that light will find? Will anyone remember these times? Will anyone care? Now, I don't ask these questions because I think what we are doing right now doesn't matter. Of course it matters. But I do find it oddly comforting to be reminded that the universe is huge and old and unfolding. I find it comforting to remember that there are billions of stars in the Milky Way. I find it comforting to remember that dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago and humans only started evolving around 3 million years ago. I find it comforting to reflect that most people, in fact, most living organisms who have lived and died on our planet, are largely forgotten. And I can't predict who will remember us, or if there will even be an us hundreds, thousands, or millions of years from now. Why I find this comforting is, I know, a little strange, but it truly puts everything in perspective. And at times like these, I find that helps. The Earth is a lot older and stronger than humans, and I know that it will survive and evolve in new ways, with or without us. And yes, I find that surprisingly comforting. It's a very large way of understanding our seventh principle and the underlying reality that everything is connected throughout time and space. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that we humans have a lot to answer for in the ways our planet is changing, ways that are hurtful, not just to us, but also to the rest of creation at this moment of time, in time. There are so many things we must commit ourselves to work at, in particular, the challenging reality of climate disruption. I believe, along with the rest of you, I'm sure, that we should do all we can to make a difference. But I also know that evolution will do what evolution has always done, change and grow in unexpected ways. And oddly, that gives me hope and makes me feel a bit more whole, a bit more healed. Hundreds of years from now, when all of us are long gone, the light from a star in the Milky Way will reach the surface of the Earth. There's no way to know what it will find. But today, I'm going to have hope that it will shine on an evolved human species full of kind and generous people on a green and welcoming Earth. In the meantime, like Mr. Rogers, I'm going to look for the helpers and aim to practice kindness, at least today. Yes, I know being kind is just a small first step toward making justice come alive in our neighborhoods and our nation and our planet. But first steps matter, and small acts of kindness may bring about the turning and healing of our world. And that leads me to conclude with a wonderful song written by Albany, New York native Ruth Pelham, who for decades brought her music mobile into neighborhoods throughout that city, helping children learn music while building community and creating hope. As far as kindness goes, Ruth Pelham is a star. As you listen to this video of Jocko and me singing this song for you, look for the lyrics in the chat, as well as a link to a charming video about Ruth and her work. We thank her for her permission to sing this song, for the turning of the world, and for you.
We are delighted to share a song with you by Ruth Pelham from Albany, New York. She gave us permission to share this song, and it's a wonderful song. It's called Turning of the World.
Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let us sing this song for the loving of the world, that we may love as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving. Let us sing this song for the healing of the world, that we may heal as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with With every song we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing.
And our lives will feel the echo of our loving.
And our lives will feel the echo of our turning.
As our world turns in the direction of justice, healing, and hope, may we become stars of kindness, sharing our love for each other in real and meaningful ways. And may we believe deep in our souls that the healing of the world is possible if we make a commitment to share our light, our love, and our lives with each other and with all creation. Thanks for letting me join you today. It's been a great, great pleasure. Bright blessings to you all, and amen.
So this is Susan, and I want to thank Reverend Barbara. It was wonderful. And Jaco, wonderful music. I want everyone in UCL, everyone here today to know that I am holding you close. I am holding you in my heart. We are going to be singing as if we were singing out there. We love you. We love each other, and let's be kind.
We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. And my prayer for you is a peace that's true until we meet again.
Thank you, everyone. You can definitely hang out, hang around. We can do breakout rooms if you like, or we can just greet each other here in the main room. Otherwise, have a wonderful Sunday.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes?
Yes,
Oh,
we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. I can't see everybody at once. Is there a reason?
You
Go to
might just
gallery
put it on
view.
gallery view.
Oh, well, that's a brilliant idea. Thank you. Let's see here.
Hi, Brian. Where are you in that photo?
This is the Seattle Japanese garden.
Seattle, Washington's supposed to have a beautiful garden there.
Yeah, there are a number of museums and gardens that are providing pictures that you can use for Zoom background.
Sounds
grounds.
beautiful. Great. Like to see more.
You can be anywhere you want to be, anytime.
Yay, Zoom.
So I remember when we had to adjust our times for the old people who lived in retirement homes that had lunch at this time. And I'm one of those, so I'm going to have to go to lunch.
Well, enjoy your lunch.
Good to see you.
Uh,
Do we have some newcomers here today that haven't ever been here before?
Lee Ketz